Hello, for my final year project, I have developed an application called Turning the Spotlight. Turning the Spotlight is currently a program run by Victim Support Cumbria and aims to help those in relationships where a risk, medium or standard risk of domestic abuse or violence has been identified. The way the risk is identified is through way of referral through parties such as police or social services if the couple has children. The referral is then reviewed by victim support, and the suitability of the referral and the risk associated with that. The couple are um, then added to the Turning Spotlight program if they are suitable for it, since this program is aimed at medium or standard risk of abuse. If they are suitable, then the couple will participate in the program individually as a victim or perpetrator within their own groups. This is because the learning and the content of each route that the participant will take is different compared to if you're a victim or a perpetrator. Currently, Turning Spotlight and victims will have no technical solution for the problems they've been facing. So some of the problems that they are facing are kind of split into two groups. So the first group would be problems faced by the facilitators of the program. These are people who run the sessions week by week and look after the participants of the program. So some of the problems faced by facilitators is that due to their time being quite valuable and precious, and it should be spent on actually helping those in need during the program and after. A lot of their time actually spent on administrative duties, such as reminding participants of dates and times, and when it should be used on things like one-to-one sessions. The other group is the participants of the program, so the perpetrators and the victims. They face problems, which is highlighted to me a lot during this project by the client, is that we need to help to maintain the motivation levels of the participants during the program and after when they've left and completed the program. So the way this is set out to achieve through the application is that all the information updated by the facilitator is really accessible and easy to find and navigate, as all the complexity is on the facilitator side, and they have complete control over what the participants see in terms of session details, creating new sessions, updating the sessions, and things like that. In order to help motivate the um, participants throughout the program, and as well as making the application easy to use, they have access to all the information as well as prompts and reminders throughout the week, just to act as like a reminder, so they can remind themselves of key parts from the previous session and take that into the next session. Because in the current situation, there is no way of reminding each participant apart from the facilitator doing it themselves one by one, which obviously, as I've already said about, is quite time consuming for the facilitator when their time should be spent on more valuable things. So they'll be reminded throughout the week through this application in order to do things such as view the next session, have a look at the previous session, or even submit feedback so the facilitator can look at their feedback and take appropriate action. So the first thing you do when you have the application is register. So let's treat this device here as the facilitator account. So we're going to call this admin. And the next last name would be test. So the email we can just call admin@test.com. Password, we just name 1234566. And then all we do is just press register. So the first thing anyone sees on their screen when they sign up is a welcome page and said that a facilitator will sign them to their group soon. If we have a look at the menu, it's quite restricted at the moment. All we have access to is the information and settings page. The idea of the information page is that anyone who installs the application has access to this, so they can just get a brief overview of what each session is about, scroll through the different sessions, show and hide each session to make it easier to see the next session as opposed to scrolling all the way through. So as you can see, session 1 relationships, so what, and a brief summary of what happens and what that session is about. If we just update refresh Firebase, we'll see that a new account has been made under the email, and if we just go to the cloud store, we'll see that this user data collection has a new user called admin test and the different fields that are used throughout the program. So in order to make them facilitate, all we have to do is look at this admin boolean and set it from false to true, press update, and as you can see on this device, automatically change to a facilitator account so that we can create a group. Let's just call this group admin group 1. Press create, and as you can see, the group ID down here is updated and we're set with some filler information for the first session. First thing we would want to do is go to the session hub and edit the first session, just so on the screen before you add your participants, they can already see the information set out for them. So the session type, we can just call it week 1 and set the date and the time to 10th of May, 1:30 in the afternoon. Location is online at the moment due to COVID restrictions. So let's just call it a online Zoom call. Since these sessions are online, this also emphasizes the need for an application in order to increase that kind of communication between participants and facilitators due to not having in real life session where they can interact as well as, which they can't interact as well as they can via Zoom call. So as you can see, the information all updates automatically. And if we just click on here and just go back to here on the cloud store, we can see that our group collection is made. So you create the group, holds all the group information. So the leader of the group, facilitator, group name. And if we go to sessions, we see session 1 is the document automatically created, which holds all the session 1 details. If we view group members, we can see that no one's in our group that I'm part from admin test to create the group. What I'm going to do is actually go on to my own phone, which I've created, and I'm going to create another account on. And as you can see here, we've got the application up, but this time we'll sign in or sign up with Google. And you can see it's just as easy, or if not easier, and it takes you to the same page. Instead of change it to a facilitator, this time we're going to go onto this device, click add participants, and we're going to search for Harry since that's my email account, and confirm to admin group. Yep, and as you can see, this automatically changes to the admin group 1 details. So if we're on the facilitator account, let's say we want to create a new session now, we click on this little plus at the bottom, and let's just call it session 2. Session title, I'll just call it week 2 for simplicity. Set the date a week later, 2:30. Set the location online. And what this checkbox here does is essentially set what you want to be viewable on the participant's home screen. So if we leave it unchecked, it won't change the participant's home screen. They'll have to go to view other sessions to see it. But we want them to set it to the next session. So that means that whatever you check for this box, that's what the participants see on the home screen. So let's press update. And as you can see, it's automatically changed to week 2, online Zoom call, 2:30 on the 24th of May. So let's pretend that we've done session 1, and we're actually going to click off this side, and let's just go onto our notifications. So the first type of notification is just a one-off notification from the facilitator to their group members, and let's just say turning the spotlight. and set the body to submit feedback. The facilitator can call this whatever they want. So if we just say send notification, you look up here, you can just see a little notification icons come up, and it says turn in the spotlight, submit feedback. So let's click on that, and let's go submit feedback. And then on this device, we're just going to click off the application. Essentially, because notifications don't come through if your application is in the foreground. If it's in the background or it's not running, then your application will come through. So let's just say I enjoyed this session, submit, and we'll get a notification that will pop up here, and it says session 1, session feedback for session 1. We've clicked on that, just boots up the application again, goes back to the state we left it in, which is good. It's what you want from the accessibility guidelines. And also, if we just go view session feedback, session 1, Harry Evans said, I enjoyed this session. And obviously, there is no feedback for the other sessions. So in theory, you'd have good few participants, so their feedback's all in a list for you, so you could scroll through it if there overflows on the page. If we just click off this app, so for the third type of notification, we've done 2, so one's one-off and the other one's for if the participant submits feedback. We go Session Hub, update the Session 2 details. So let's just add some extra data as online Zoom call. Press update, and if you look up here, get another notification says Session 2 updated week 2, and if we just click on that, we can see that online Zoom calls changed here. We can also do the session notes. So if we go session 1, update the notes, and then say just this week we will meet all participants. So these session notes is essentially extra information that isn't really relevant on the participant's home screen for reasons such as making the home screen more clear and easy to see and use, as if the facilitator writes quite a lot, it will blog up the home screen and make it not as easy to see. So if we just go to view of a session, session 1, we can see the full details of this session. As you can see, the notes have been updated on that account. If we go to session 2, it says session notes will appear here once uploaded. So I think that's everything for this application. As you can see, Harry's added to our group if you just view our group members. In terms of future work, the first thing I will be doing as soon as this project comes to an end will be adding the ability for facilitators to manage more than one group, as that restricts them. One group per account is really annoying and doesn't really work in a real life scenario, as facilitators will manage more than one group. The second thing will be more formatting and data type of things, such as removing users from your group and things like that. It's really easy to log out as well. Obviously, you just press log out on each device, it takes you straight to home screen, and it's obviously easy to log back in and all the data loads straight up for you. Thank you.